memory lane, man. That's
Yeah.
150. That's an accomplishment, right? I mean, we should talk
150.
about our colossal achievements, and there are many.
Colossal.
Who was the most memorable? Like, or was there like a memorable moment that like just stands out to you? A guest or a a conversation or anything?
Yeah, a few of them like that stand out to me. Like I think about, I don't know why. Maybe it's like the different kind of like mental biases. So it's like the recency versus primacy bias.
Yeah.
Like I always think about the really old stuff or the really new stuff. A lot of the early episodes are in the replays as well.
I bet they're rough.
They're
So
rough.
rough.
It's not a loss. I'll be honest.
If you're gonna lop off a section, that's probably the good section to lop off.
Get rid of, like, because that's another thing. It was kind of mortifying. Every so often I'd hear from somebody and they said, I found your podcast. I really loved it. So I went back and I started from the first episode and I was working my way all the way through. I was like, please don't do that.
Welcome to Direction Correct, a People's Podcast with Cole and Scott. Today's guest, nobody.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Directionally Correct fans. This podcast is dedicated to you to help educate and entertain you on how to effectively do people analytics, workforce planning, talent intelligence, behavioral science, and understand the impacts of AI in the workplace. If you're looking to stay connected to the podcast, make sure to subscribe to Directionally Correct Substack newsletter, where you can read Cole's articles or watch the video of the podcast. You can also see video on Spotify or YouTube, or listen to the podcast on your app of choice. Feel free to check out Cole's new book, People Analytics, and everything else that's going on at colenapper.com. As always, all opinions are our own, and thanks for being a listener.
We're at 150 now. You've done more than you've done all 150.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't anywhere neither of us were there.
Yeah, that'd be wild if we just did a podcast.
That would be wild, actually.
But like thinking back to episode 1, I distinctly remember like we need an intro, and I just went in my closet, and that became my recording studio, and I recorded nobody. That was it.
Well, we reused it. I think we actually still use it for the Cole and Scott, so we don't actually like it's still because there's this little like thing. It's like, yeah, that works. Where I like come in at the end and it's still in the recording.
It's still the original audio. We haven't recorded. I think so.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we still use it, or it's old. Let's call it that way. It's very early in the podcast.
Wow, memory lane, man. That's 150. Yeah. That's an accomplishment, right? I mean, we should talk about our colossal achievements, and there are many.
Colossal. It's so large, the achievements.
I mean, they're not going to speak of themselves, so I mean, we ought to do it ourselves.
That is one of the weird things about the pod. It's like if you're gonna say anything good about it, it's like you talking about yourself.
You have the opportunity to go to more conferences, more varied conference, and kind of play in the space more than I do. Did folks ever come up and say like, "Hey, I listen and it's so great," or "You were awful," or anything?
I mean, yeah, that does happen. It happened a lot even this week. But my favorites, which happened twice this week, is where's Scott? Is Scott going to be here? I would love to see Scott around. Like, you're never going to see him. He's not going to be here.
He don't want to be around you. No.
It's just like, even if Scott was here, he wouldn't be in this hallway talking to you.
I do recall, was it Talreos? Like at a certain point, just like fucked off to a classroom and just hung out and chilled with other people and just shot the shit. That was actually a highlight. That was a personal achievement of mine.
Yeah, I mean that's like I know you pretty well. Like that's like peak Scott, Like you're like the man of mystery out there because you're never around.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, like at one point we did talk about like what our alternate job would be, like an old lady career. And this week I went to a it's called an event at my company. and it was just a generic sort of like vendor booth situation that you'd get at PSYOP, right?
Yeah.
And people like handing out trinkets and this sort of thing. And I was thinking, I would dominate this role, talking to people for 2-minute stretches, just glad handing and handing out shit and like just talking trash. I would dominate.
If you can talk to people on the way to the restroom, you can talk to anyone. Right? You would kill at that role. I'm surprised you haven't done anything like that. I mean, have you had any kind of, I would say, like, let's call it like extroversion based roles in your life?
I don't really know what that means.
But
I
sales
will
role, like a college recruiter, like a something like that.
Never that. I will say I used to work for a company called ProEd in Austin, and they sold psychometric instruments, largely for the K through 12 sort of crowd, elementary crowd. And we would do vendor booths. They had a booth, and we'd go to like various conferences around, and you just kind of sitting there, and like the things kind of sell themselves, right? But that was the extent of that.
Yeah,
I really liked it though. What's up?
Did you like it? Were you good at it?
It's a lot of yes. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the travel. I was young in my career, and I just enjoyed like getting out on the road.
I just wasn't sure if it was trinkety enough,
Yeah, if I'm not handing out like keychains, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Right?
What I'm saying is I would be good in the mall,
Write your name on a grain of rice. One of those things.
Giving open air massages because that's not weird.
I will definitely airbrush your name on a t-shirt, right?
That's awesome, man. Yeah, man, like 150 episodes, it's a lot. We did the in-person thing for 100 episodes. I feel like that was like way overkill. So
in person's rough, right? It's hard.
Well, and like you know me, like the technical aspects of the podcast, like getting all the audio and stuff set up, it's always like super stressful, and there's people watching, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is so bad.
Your nemesis is the microphone and all the cords and all the interface. Definitely,
it has thrown me off on every live occasion, every single one.
I'm here. I'll give you a technology thing going on right now. I have someone at my house trying to conduct a meeting, and they just messaged me to turn off the Roomba. So,
yeah, I guess you can't unplug a Roomba because it's already unplugged.
It kicks on at 9 a.m. or something like that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There you go. I just got a thank you message. Like, thank you. that was technology in action right there. That's amazing.
Exactly.
But I mean, back to focus. Bring it up.
Focus.
150 of these bad boys. I've probably done 125, 130, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Who was the most memorable? Like, or was there like a memorable moment that like just stands out to you? A guest or a conversation or anything?
Yeah, a few of them like that stand out to me. Like I think about, I don't know why. Maybe it's like the different kind of like mental biases. So it's like the recency versus primacy bias.
Yeah.
Like I always think about the really old stuff or the really new stuff. So like some of the really old things. Like I remember Crede always so Marcus Crede talking about
that was the very first thing on my list too. Yeah.
It's like just the wildest conversation, talking about like how all the research is just, fabricated. I'm like, okay, this is so crazy. I think about you asking Alexis at our first live PSYOP about what's the craziest thing she ever did for love, and she started blushing. That was Alexis Fink. That was awesome.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we did actually have a good live event.
I loved recently talking about hammocks, with JP. That would just tickled my heart a little bit. People won't understand it, but it was a very special moment for me. I don't know what were some of yours, and I can probably be thinking of some more while you're talking.
I think that's your recency and whatever the longitude bias. I don't know what you would call that, but like our very first time with Chris Castille. Like, I think he was our very first guest, and like Mike Knott was shortly after there, and Max Blumberg. He was freaking wild, man. We had him on 2-3 times. I'm not sure how many times we had him on, but he always brought something crazy.
He always did. Yeah, for sure. And Chris, I mean, like this, I remember after that one, because that was our first guest, and you're like, Cole, you got to quit arguing with the guests.
Y'all were straight fighting.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this isn't going to work out. So learned a lot since then, but having Michael Knott back recently was awesome. Just getting to hear from him. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these folks are just, it's just really neat to get to bring on people. Like I tried to describe it to somebody the other day, like what the podcast is. It's like finding somebody you're curious about to talk about the thing you're most curious about that they know in public. And like that,
it's a hard thing.
It's a hard thing, but it's also a really special thing too, because, you know, I think that's why a lot of people like go to conferences and stuff like that, is to try to learn from these people. And I feel like we get like our own highly curated conference whenever we want it. And that is frankly quite special. And so I think it's awesome.
This has always been my, not to like pat ourselves on the back or anything like that, but like my mental framework for the podcast in general. Like, just like going to Talreos and sit in a room on the side talking to like really smart people very candidly about what's going on. That's always what I wanted from this podcast, just the hallway conversations. I don't want to hear your speech that you've given to, you know, the board or anybody else. I want to hear, dude, we were doing this thing and it was tough and we figured out some elements and other parts we just never got to. Like, I mean, that's the real stuff. That's the real stuff.
Well, I think it's interesting, like earlier this year, bringing on folks like Mark Efron. Like, that was like a really good episode, but he's also like super provocative. And then bringing like Sandra Laughlin on like a few weeks later, and she's like, I disagree with everything Mark Efron says. And it's just like stuff like that is just, I think it's gold. Like I'd love to get, you know, we've talked a bunch of times about like doing debates and stuff like that, but I think it would lose some of the charm, you know, but like getting to have like really smart people on who don't always necessarily agree is also really interesting to me.
I'm going to have to outsource my brain to you because unfortunately I don't remember names fairly well, but the guy we just had on that was from the CIA. He was great.
AJ Herman,
the guy that had the economics book about how to produce, show your value in HR. Was that Efron?
I feel like we've had like 4 of those.
Well, anyway, that was really good. Keith McNulty, flashback back in the day. I remember exactly where I was when we did that pod.
I think you have like a more tactile memory than I do. I think that's one of the fascinating things about, because like I hear you when you tell stories about what it was like to, and you were like, yeah, I was sitting on the ground, feeling the carpet. You know, I was holding a teddy bear. I was like, I don't remember that.
It's hard to separate that from daily life. Yeah.
You know, it was actually two really fun ones were the ones we did at Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
So like one with Tillman and the students, that was really cool. But also the one with President Henderson, like his country music knowledge.
Yeah.
Like,
unreal.
So many things I was not expecting in that episode. It was fantastic. I don't think a lot of people listened to it because it was about like universities rather than people analytics. But like, I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the higher education world that people care about. That was a fantastic episode. So
that was really good. That was really good. He was an old country DJ, which is why he knew so much about, you know, red dirt country music and this sort of thing. And the very first like live one that we did with the students, that's where the toxoplasmosis article arose from.
Just sprinkling it in. Yeah, we've kind of gone full circle on that topic. I know we haven't brought it up in a while. That's a funny thing.
There may be one later on in the nerdery. I'm just saying.
Oh, I love you're teasing your stuff later. That's the beauty. Like, again, to kind of get some under the hood type of stuff. When we normally have a guest and we cover articles, we've like all had a chance to look at them. But in the Cole and Scott episodes, we don't know what each other's ever sharing.
No.
And so this is always fun for me because it's like a little surprise when you get to share something with you or you bring something to me that I know you think I'm going to find funny.
It's great because we just riff and like I don't even have to read your stuff. It's great.
I mean, again, it's like we actually read it or something.
Who was the funniest guest? Do you have a funniest out there?
I mean, you are consistently the funniest. That's the number one thing I hear. Like when I hear about from you is either Scott's like a mystery man or Scott is the funny part of the podcast. And so I think you are by far the funniest. In terms of like second funniest, I had to think about it for like, do you have anybody in mind? Let me look, let me kind of scan through.
I'll tell you my favorite joke that probably no one laughed at recently with JP Elliott when he was saying that like a manager pulled him aside at Taco Bell and like told him like he wasn't like cutting mustard, and I said, you know, you're just not Taco Bell material. And he didn't really like think one way or the other, but I thought that was really funny to myself, made myself laugh. Okay. Once again, I got to outsource my names. I know where I was and all this sort of stuff geographically, but the guy that was the drummer, y'all talked about the movie. Oh God. He lived on the golf course and I accused him of going
Doug
out.
Shagum. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he was great. He was so good.
Doug was good. I forgot about Doug. Doug's a good dude. I was actually talking to somebody about him earlier this week. So that's funny. Small world.
We should talk to him again. He was great.
He was great. Doug, we're wishing you, good wishes out there right now. Because
I will remember your name, maybe.
Yeah, Scott will remember you next time.
Drinking at Talreos once again. That did not go like planned.
But that was a really funny one. People don't understand.
That was a good one.
That was Nicholas. God, what's Nicholas's last name? From Uber. Don't hate me, Nick. He's awesome.
It doesn't matter. We shout out to Nick
Bremner. Nicholas Bremner.
Nick Bremner.
And people don't understand. We edited out like half of that episode.
We had to.
It just got off the rails.
Cole started. No. Cole went on a rant when we had to just cut that. It was bad.
No, it's just you're drinking. It's in public. It's the only time we ever drank on the podcast. It was the first and the last. Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Well, early on we had planned to drink it like on the regular, but it just turns into a shit show. Go figure. Yeah,
like you just lose all filter, and it just like it quits being like interesting. You ever listen to people at the bar talking to each other? They think they're interesting, but listening to them isn't particularly compelling.
What about the future of the pod? I mean, we've done 150 of these. Like in theory, I mean, it could go forever. But I mean, like, are we adding value? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I want to do in life, and I know it's like a big sort of. It's a lot of prep, right? It's a lot of work to do the pod. And
I remember Jackson Roach when he was on here a while back. He talked about the Lindy effect. You remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it means that like however long something lasts is however long it'll last in the future. So if you've gone 150 episodes, I mean you'll probably go 150 more. So 300 is our number, I guess, is what I would say.
It just feels like you would be 600 at that point, right? Like,
yeah. If you go 300, you're going to go 600. Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this Lindy effect's got a hole in
it. Yeah. That's some crazy.
Like, if we're adding value, email Cole, because I don't know. Like, it's a lot of work and there's a lot of options out there. But it's fun to talk to you. It's fun to talk to all these people that I don't remember any of their names, apparently.
Well, I mean, like, just to be personal for a second, I think one of the big reasons why you keep doing this is just out of solidarity to me, and I'm really appreciative of that. I'm doing all this stuff all the time. You gotta, like, let's call it a real day job, you know.
I do in solidarity, but I mean, I do get a lot of joy in talking to these people and this sort of things. And behind the scenes, early on, I was cutting audio and editing and this sort of stuff. Cole has done all of the administrative work for the past 2 years, something like that. I don't know.
Longer. I remember every second of that. I remember more of that part than I do the podcast.
See, I mean, that's the sort of stuff that, like, not to get too deep here, but I mean, like, that's the sort of like BS that's hard about it. Not necessarily talking to the people, but
talking to people is awesome. That's like the part that's most enjoyable. You made me think of something. You talk about funny episodes. The one we did at PsyOp with all the panel, like it was like, Emily Pelosi, Amy Stevenson, Anthony
Oh yeah,
Ferris, Rob Stilson, Kelsey Colley. That one was actually a really funny one. Uh, and
that was funny in like it's not apocryphal, but it goes down in lore because no one knew the panic on stage when we had burned through all of our talking points in the first 3 minutes of the pod, and it was like, oh no, we've got to fill half an hour,
yeah,
and no one's talking.
I don't think we'll be going back to PsyOp anymore. I didn't submit anything this year. Womp womp. But
Well, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, it's a little dated, but I mean, like the PSYOP deadline just passed. Did you submit anything at all?
yeah, I was a part of so I got tapped on doing a Friday seminar. I've never done one of those before. And then I think I ended up with 2 or 3 submissions. I can't remember. I wasn't the lead on any of them, but a lot of them were around job architecture and skills work that I've been doing lately.
Okay.
So that's gonna be pretty cool if they get accepted or not. But yeah, the Friday seminar should be on kind of. It's with Alexis Fink and Matt Hura from Insight 222. They had done something recently on the ROI of people analytics, and then my book was about that. And so I think we're going to do like the ROI of IOPsych and people analytics as a Friday seminar.
You're a big dog in PSYOP these days, man. Like you're LEC and like seminars and like hanging out with all the hot shots.
I gotta say, it has been the weirdest transition for me because like I had basically quit going to PSYOP altogether, and then all of a sudden, like I came in through the side door somehow, and now I'm like doing all this big stuff, and I don't know how that happened, but it definitely happened all in a wave.
I mean, like early on, like you would even like waffled, like whether you even consider yourself like an IO, and like I think it's like I'll give you more credit than like anybody else of like redefine the IO space as like people analytics and like kind
Yeah.
of rejuvenated everything.
I mean, I don't.
Under that lens, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to give myself any credit along those lines, but what I would say is, as a personal note, like I feel like I've kind of gone through a few careers now. So I
Yeah.
started out like doing what I would call like true blue IO psychology work, and then I was doing more true blue, frankly, workforce planning work, and then it was like people analytics. So like the parts of we've debated before like what is people analytics, but I didn't call myself much of an IO psychologist anymore, and I would even lump in kind of talent intelligence with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm basically I twice a week, and I have to correct them every time it happens. Twice a week, I get somebody calls me an economist now, and it's so strange just by nature of what I do at work. And I'm not an economist, but I do a lot of economist-like things. And so I've gone through this kind of interesting journey where I still like have my behavioral science and IO lens that I bring to everything. And frankly, I think that's what makes me a little bit special.
Yeah.
But I've definitely kind of like, not moved on, but like graduated into like broader, areas than maybe just pure IO psychology anymore.
It's my experience that economics and IO, those Venn diagrams are not as separate as you would think. Like it's just like different terminology and this sort of stuff. IO brings a little bit more theory, economics a little bit more, rigor around methods, perhaps. But the Venn diagrams substantial overlap.
It's kind of interesting you say that. Like I remember early in my career, I worked and my role was like organizational management and development. And then
Mm-hmm.
that term became like talent management. And then talent management became talent. And so it's like this kind of compression of different words into like a single word. And I feel like what I'm doing is like it used to be like it was like I was psychology, and then it was people analytics, and it was talent intelligence and all that stuff. And I feel like at the root of it is just data. If you had to compress it all down, I just know data and its relationship to human and workers in the workplace. And I feel like that compression is really like what my career is.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But people still get freaked out when I say that IO is a subset of people analytics, which I still don't understand why there's why people have such a negative feeling to that.
Come at him. Next time you see Scott in the hallway at a conference, which will be never, come at him, bro.
I'll say, okay, fucking define people analytics, bitch. And they won't have a fucking answer. Then they'll still be mad at me for saying IO is a subset. Things like, at least I have a definition, fool. Thank you to I submitted one thing for PsyOp. The deadline was Tuesday. I started Sunday night like a true professional that I am. I contacted everyone. They all agreed that night.
What's the topic?
Oh yeah. So it's essentially a game show. I really hope it gets picked up. It was picked up in Chicago. It's called Change My Mind. People get up. It's totally interactive format where people the audience can vote via their phones. Essentially, a participant will get up, state a provocative statement. It could be like AI interviews are just as reliable as human interviews, something like that. And then people vote. They will go on a rant for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever they got. Then at the end of that rant, we'll revote and see how many minds are changed. It's just an excuse to rant, talk about things, whatever. It was really, really well received. It was very well received earlier.
I'll be honest, I already got your submission for next year. It's people analytics and IO psychology are the same thing. Change my mind.
Well, I think it was in 2019. I originally came with the idea, maybe 2018. I put out the call on Twitter. It is like the most highly engaged Twitter post I've ever made. But it was called Change My Mind, IO Psych is Dead. And that's what I titled my submission. And I submitted
on that submission, by the way. And I remember somebody said, Cole's going to get punched in the face.
They never gave me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I think like Deep PsyOp State like rejected it on principle.
Yeah, if you ever want to know the inner workings, like submit something truly provocative and you'll find out you won't even get rejected. It just will be disappeared.
I will say that I do have a bone to pick with PsyOp for year 2 in a row where like I could not find the submission link. I was panicking, going through all the catastrophizing phases of like, oh no, I went through all this stuff and like my group is gonna like I'm letting them all down because I'm gonna miss the deadline and all this sort of stuff. It's a little rough. PsyOp, we gotta publish this better. Get the website in order.
I'm sorry I'm going like way back. Who was a really funny guest? Emily Campion. She was awesome.
I love Emily. Yeah. She's my celebrity crush.
I thought that was Emily Pelosi.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. I got my Emily's confused.
I mean, maybe they both are. I don't know.
I mean, she's lovely too. I mean, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, Emily was really funny, and also funny. Jordan Hartley. We had her on twice. She's a trip.
She is a trip. Joy Oliver, she was great back in the day. That was the episode that essentially we covered ChatGPT for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's when Gen AI came on the scene. So I don't know.
I actually have a tactile memory of that one. Now that since you have yours, because I remember I was in Louisiana and I was in my parents' dining room chair, and this is before I think we had video. And I remember talking about that. That's so funny. That's wild.
I remember exactly where I was for that one too.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Are any of those available? Like, can we go listen to Chris Castille's interview?
So I think because we recently switched providers again, it deleted like a lot of our old episodes. Like I think I could probably figure out where they are, but I don't know if they're out there anymore. I think it starts at like episode 47 or something like that now. And we published a bunch of replay episodes. I don't think Castille was one of them, but a lot of the early episodes are in the replays as well.
I bet they're rough. It's
rough. Not a loss, I'll be honest.
If you're gonna lop off a section, that's probably the good section to lop off.
Get rid of because that's another thing. It was kind of mortifying. Every so often I'd hear from somebody and they said, I found your podcast. I really loved it. So I went back and I started from the first episode and I was working my way all the way through. I was like, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's so bad.
That's dedication though. Oh my God. Like what insane things have I said that they latched onto?
People who have commutes, man, they're looking for anything. They're looking for what can I listen to on a repeated basis that makes the commute not so bad.
Well, shout out to anyone in the car right now.
Yeah, or
Big
doing the
up.
dishes or working out. We feel your pain.
You want to do a little confusion matrix, or you got anything else over there?
Well, actually, I wanted to one thing I want to talk about you about if we're going to talk about people analytics at all today was just about the concept of innovation.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I know that this is like I think it's like a hot topic that's going on right now. I was speaking at a closed door event not that long ago, and they asked me the question. I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but it was something like people analytics does a lot of work on kind of like the risk mitigation side of the house or like trying to reduce turnover, trying to improve employee experience versus like creating value. And they said, Cole, like, what would your split be in terms of doing that work? And I said, just because no one talks about it, I would put all of my effort towards trying to use people analytics to make your company more innovative
Yeah.
because we know HR is always going to be biased towards risk mitigation. So, like, you got to just kind of be that counterbalancing force. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on like the how you can use people analytics to be more innovative as an organization?
Well, you said something interesting there. Like people analytics, you got to optimize for something, right? And like we're definitely in a period of AI, and like things are moving faster and faster. And like if you're just imagine like if you're still using like an adding machine, like you would be toast. I mean, so that's obviously just like a extreme example there. But from I study innovation. I read about it a lot. I love the book Look Around More. Look at things more. I don't know. I'll find it for you. Look at more things and more. I don't know. I'm just like I think I'm stroking out now at this point. Also Connected by James Burke. Connections by James Burke. Fantastic book. But the overall innovation process is all about oscillating between going out exploring ideas, right? Going out do these in network analysis terms, you put them as like weak ties. Going out finding ideas that you don't have internally, whether in your team or like things you haven't covered before, and then coming back and like sitting with them, refining them, like going, and then like you just repeat the process over and over. So like if you're trying to get something going, that is the overall process of innovation. But like from a team perspective, of course, you got to have psychological safety. You got to have, lack of bureaucracy, all these sort of things that would like obviously stand in the way of innovation. But I mean, like from a broader perspective, we talk about innovation as if everyone knows what it is, but it's a very squishy topic, right? Because it's uncertain. It's
Yeah,
uncertain, but there's ways to make it more likely. That's my broader point.
yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think it is uncertain because I think a lot of times people get confused in the sense that they think like we got to use people analytics to like innovate our product that we sell or something like that. Like, that's not actually what people analytics is going to do most of the time. It may actually do that in certain organizations,
Yeah.
but most of the time that's not what's going to happen. I think about it. You used the example of AI earlier. I think about something as simple as like A/B testing. You've got some teams who are using AI, some teams that aren't. You
Mm-hmm.
can test to see if the teams who are using it are more innovative, more productive, more efficient, more effective. You could look at a variety of variables, like if it's a sales team or an R&D team or a manufacturing team, whatever it may be, and use their kind of focal metrics to say, like, is this team innovating more? Are they bringing more like volume of ideas into play? Are you able to kind of
Yeah.
cycle through the ability to test things out quicker than you would have historically? Like there's a variety of ways of looking at innovation, but just kind of look at the focal variables of your organization, study them from kind of an A/B testing point of view. And that could give you 3 years of runway of research just right there, and there's a million other ideas about how to be more innovative.
I mean, like you just laid out essentially IO, people analytics, and sort of any topic really right there is like
Yeah,
you study it and you set up the circumstances to make it more likely, right?
yeah,
And especially like, I don't know, sales, finance, whatever it is, like that's not what you would typically think the innovation would come from, but they have to be innovative too, right? Like they're
yeah.
making, at the very least, small changes to their work to make themselves more productive, more impactful, this sort of thing. But you can increase those odds as well.
That is so true. I don't know why this jogged my memory, but I was thinking back about podcast guests, and I was thinking about like Carl Sherbaum and Harold Goldstein, and they were talking about the NFL draft, and then they invited us to go to the next
Oh,
one with them,
yeah.
and we definitely didn't go. So Harold and Charles, if you're out there, we definitely want to go with you to the next NFL draft. Please bring us. We would love to do that.
I had forgotten all about that. That may be my favorite overall, just because like it's way up my alley, and that was just a great conversation, like the blending of sport and IO.
Another thing, this is for you getting future guests. You haven't referenced him in a while, but that Hubbard guy, he wrote a book you really like. You need
Yeah,
you need to
yeah.
reach out to that guy to be a guest on the podcast. You always reference like really good books and these people you really admire. And I'm just like, Scott, just go get her to be a guest. That'd be
The
amazing.
crazy thing. Okay, so flashback to PSYOP Chicago. Rob Stilson.
Yes, Wilson.
He saved the pod earlier. We referenced it when like we ran out of topics, and he saved the pod by coming up with, I can't remember what he said. It was something about frogs or something like that.
It was
Is that
something
right?
strange, but it was
It
awesome.
was something strange, but okay. Shout out to Rob. And then this past year at Denver, like conference was over, and I think we went to some college basketball bar to watch like the NBA, pardon me, the NCAA finals are going on, and he is friends with Hubbard, and he
Is he?
gave me his like contact information to get in some sort of like working group, but it was always held at like Saturdays or Sundays or something like that. Like, sometimes I couldn't make it, but
Yeah.
yes, I have an in. It's like weird how the network works.
You should definitely do that. So Rob, I don't know if he's still an avid listener, but he used to be, and he teaches too. And
Yeah.
our poor guest, what Rob would always tell people to do, and I know this for a fact, he would tell all his prior students to go reach out to them for networking purposes. And so that's why I always knew, like, I don't know if it still happens, but our guests used to get mobbed by all of Rob's prior students every time they would come on the podcast. And so I just thought that was so hilarious.
Be careful what you wish for. I will say that like I shy away from even LinkedIn now. Like I just like there's 48 messages waiting for me, and I'm like, I don't got energy now. It's just like an avalanche. So sorry to anyone that's been messaging me. That ain't how you get into contact with me. What you need to do is contact Cole, and Cole will contact me. That's how it's gonna work.
I've been turning up my Scott dials lately. I'm definitely responding to less than I used to, for sure.
I mean, you got to protect yourself. I'm just talking like in general terms here. It's like something's got to give. For me, like I love to model things. I love to tinker. We've talked about this before. You've seen it in action. And like having to do all the social shit, like I just it beeps me down. Like it gives me anxiety to see text messages and this sort of thing. So
see, you want the trinket conversation. You just don't want the text version of the trinket conversation.
Exactly. I want the 2-minute how you doing conversation in the hall. Give me your information download, this sort of thing. You know what I think it is? I think it's growing up, I watched so much TV. Like I was essentially an only child, latchkey child. Sit there, just watch TV all day. And I came to a cadence of conversations that you got to get your dialogue out quickly and make your point, and then we will move on, and I will have a back and forth, and like the scene's over in like 2.5 minutes. So like now when I get in calls and like someone's just like kind of droning on, I'm like, yo,
Speed it up.
fucking, we get your point. We don't need you to drone on.
It's actually really good public speaking feedback to give somebody is that I think it's I think the professionals say it's like 90 seconds. You've got 90 seconds, wrap it up. Otherwise people are losing their interest.
Be good, be brief, be gone. Is that what it is?
Yeah, or like
leaders.
Say what you're gonna say what you say what you said, and then be done.
Then power pose.
Yeah, well, that's been. I think that was one of the things Corday talked about. You know, who was another crazy one was Alan Colquitt. I don't know if you remember that one, but that was pretty wild.
What did he talk about?
He was just saying like how like performance management is complete garbage, and yeah,
he was fun. Yeah, I remember him now. Yeah.
Some of the and the funny thing is, it's not like we bring on people to just be provocative and they have no grounding for what they say. Every single person we bring on is like an expert and has like research expertise. And so Alan's been doing this research for decades. And he's basically saying like all the things that we know to be true are wrong. And I think it's just fascinating when somebody who's like truly a world expert comes on and says something like that.
It's I was having this thought the other day. It's what it is sitting with the data, right? And after a while, you see deep patterns, and you can definitely spot someone that's sat with it and dealt with it, and someone that has not.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of turnover attrition modeling, turnover contagion, all this sort of stuff. And I went to a consortium, these like sort of pay deals, whatever. And I was talking to people, and it was clearly they have done like one, maybe two projects, and they didn't really have much to say beyond that project. And like, no offense to them, but like, I was like, oh, and like, here's some other things to think about. And like, oh my God, like, you're gonna get your shit in trouble if you start doing this. And it just became like obvious. Not that I'm like great or anything like that, but I sat with that data for so long. I had insights I didn't know I had.
Well, that, and I've tried to actually tell you that before. I keep telling you, it's like, Scott, you're like the leading expert in the world on this space. And you're like, yeah, but I love, Hubbard and all these other people. I'm like, I bet you know more than they do. Like, and I'm not trying to like make it a competition or something. It's just you get your hands dirty every day, and you've been doing it for decades, and if years, if not decades. And so I feel like you know so much about this space. And the other thing is, people only know what they know, right? And so if you've only done two projects, you know two projects worth of data. And that's not, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you only know what you know.
My personality flaw is discounting my own knowledge. And it could be just like Dunning-Kruger effect, which we don't know if it's true or not, but you get to a point where you know what you don't know when you're like, oh shit, there's a massive hole in my game.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello, this is Michael Vandervoort from the Drive-Thru HR podcast, where we discuss ideas, trends, and activities that impact HR, talent, HR technology, and the workplace. Our focus is on expanding knowledge and igniting curiosity as we hear directly from people who are shaping the future of the HR industry. Join us.
You know who was awesome? John Boudreau and Peter Ramstead. John, because at one point I talked about this cowboy jacket, and then he came on the podcast and wore the cowboy jacket. And I was like, that is such a mature individual. Like, I appreciated that so much because he could have hated me forever. And so, John, if you're out there, I just want to say thank you so much for not hating me forever and being a good sport.
Why would he hate you forever?
I don't know. We joked around about it because the premise of it was we had joked about it before on the podcast. I got sent this long email thread where all these people are emailing John Boudreau about how we were making fun of him on the podcast. And instead of being mad about it, he was a good sport. And so I thought it was awesome.
I like a nice evolved human. And Ramstead is the one that had the ROI, the HR ROI that I was referencing earlier. I forgot his name. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was awesome.
He was awesome. Yeah.
Both of them are awesome. Everyone's awesome.
Well, they wrote Beyond HR together, which is like still holds up. Really great book.
Who's the worst guy?
Who's the worst?
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
I think we should go there. Let's do it.
We've had some rough moments. I don't think we've ever had. We never mind.
I remember we've had guests that, like, I remember, we started the principles of the podcast. Like, people don't know this, but we started having to send our guests principles of the podcast, like what to do, because people start leaning into politics on here. We're like, fuck that.
God,
you guys need to stop. And I know, like, and I think about, like, that was a bad episode. If I know exactly what I'm talking about. That one I did not like.
I was so excited for that episode too, because it could have been super cool, but it's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. I don't know. Most of them I like pretty well. Some people, what I don't like is somebody's like super cool in prep, and then they get on here and they freeze up and they become weird. Don't like that.
Yeah. There's something about seeing the red light come on that really freaks people out. And I mean, I'd love to go back and listen to our first one or two episodes to see how we did.
I'll say this, and this is not meant to be mean. It's just how I really feel. Any episode where we talked about Star Trek, I could have done without it.
We haven't done that in a really long time.
We've done it like 10 times. And David Salat, Amit, Alec Levinson. Because I remember all of these moments because I'm just having to sit there and like sit on my hands. like, when is this going to end?
Well, I mean, I'll just go with the Lindy principle. We're gonna do it at least 10 more times.
Well, at
Right?
least it's only 10 more. I can probably handle that.
Well, then it'll be 40 or whatever. We haven't talked Star Trek's such a fertile ground. You're right, Cole. We should need to talk more Star Trek.
Oh, well, I guess we kind of mentioned it earlier, but anytime we've done a live episode and I've been freaking out, I have not liked that.
Yeah, you get really up in your head about the audio and stuff. About like the quality and like just the setup. Like you really do get up in yourself about that.
The only time I didn't is because I had enough time to prep was the 2 psyops ago. I got there literally like an hour and 30 minutes before the presentation, had time to set up, and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, I rolled in and like I think Cole was like super caffeinated. I don't know, but you're like, yeah, I got here at 5 this morning. We're all good.
But at least like it was not rushed. I had time to get everything set up properly, and like, but if that's what it takes to not be stressed, I was like, we need to quit doing this.
Well, multiple things. Once again, this is the Chicago one where we ran out of topics immediately. David Salat saved it. It was like an 8 a.m. Like they're trying to be funny or entertaining at 8 a.m. to a crowd that's like eating breakfast is really hard. But who was it? Kristen Sabo. She brought in mimosas.
Yeah, her and her friend. I can't remember her friend's name, but they were lifesavers. That was you could call it one of the most epic moments of the podcast. That was great. That was really good.
That really loosened things up.
It did. Tried to talk about aliens. That didn't work.
Yeah.
It never works. It never works.
Trying to, I mean, despite the fact I'm on the West Coast and we tend to do these in the morning, like it's hard in the morning. But to an audience is even worse because like you're trying to get the feedback and.
I mean, I hope people don't mind that we're just going all over the place here because I mean, this is kind of fun to kind of go back and do this. Think about like Fred Oswald. He's amazing. Remember him?
Oh yeah, of course.
Fred's a good dude. Charles Handler. I remember he was at an LEC and he was like recording from there. He's wild. I got to do a panel with him last year. He's awesome. I really.
Is there anyone out there that you would like to get? Maybe like a golden goose, someone that would be great.
I'm kind of I've gotten burned enough where I'm like in a never meet your heroes type of moment.
Yeah.
So. But I would say I would like to get some of your authors that you really love on here. That would be amazing.
I will say that you see these books on the shelf, you're like, oh my God, these people are untouchable. But in reality, almost I'll say 90% of people are like so giving of their time and willing to like come on and just they're very attainable. And let me make a broader point. Like even just starting this podcast, and there's no rules. There's no rules. There are laws, and that people can enforce arbitrary laws. But you can do anything. Like right, like you would just say, hey, you reach out to an author and be like, hey, what's up? And if they don't respond, then they don't respond. But your life is what you make it.
Well, and the crazy part is we don't ever have to have another guest again. Nobody made that a rule.
We don't owe anything to anybody. Yeah.
And the funny thing, like I think I go back to this is like for kind of the IOPsych versus people analytics debate. A lot of people attribute the term people analytics coming around 2010. We had Jeremy Shapiro and Prasad Sethi. So Jeremy arguably created the term. Prasad was at Google, who arguably created the first function.
Yeah.
And so like we get to talk to these people and that's so cool. But at the same time, like we don't ever have to talk to anyone again if we don't want to. So,
was Prasad the one that was talking about power and decision-making authority?
No, that was Amit Mohindra.
Amit.
Yeah.
That was really insightful. Yeah.
That was a good moment. That was like, I think one of the few, him, RJ Milner and Ahmed. I remember those two episodes were near each other. And I feel
Yeah.
like in both of those I actually like learned something. I was like, okay, like I did not know these things. Those were both really good back in the day. Those were a little while ago, but I've gotten to know Ahmed pretty well since then, which has been cool.
You want to do a very brief confusion matrix?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we can maybe wrap up. We have like 20 articles, but hey, we're not getting to it today, and I don't care. Welcome to the Confusion Matrix.
That's totally good. I do want to get to at least one of these down here just to get your thoughts. Just very briefly, we'll do a little Waffle House. How about that? We haven't done that in a long time.
Waffle House.
Because you did. This is okay. This directly relates to being in a Waffle House,
Okay.
right? Okay.
That's
because you did work there, right? You owned it. You owned a
there.
Waffle House. You owned a chain of Waffle Houses.
We also haven't covered my prior employers in a long time. I did work at Waffle House for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Waffles or pancakes? What you gonna do?
Well, obviously, if you're going into Waffle House, you're getting waffles because they don't serve pancakes.
Do they not?
Exception. They do not serve pancakes. You cannot order them.
I'm just a hash brown guy. I don't know.
You want them smothered and covered?
Pancake.
Yeah.
Are you going to do the booth or are you going to go for the bar?
Got to go booth. Even if it's sticky, I'm not a bar guy because usually they don't have good backs on the chair. So this is part of being a taller guy. But most people don't realize I'm tall until they meet me. They're like, wow, you're way taller than I thought you were going to be.
You're like a linebacker. Yeah.
And they like a lot of chairs are made for like a 5'5" person. And so for whatever reason, bar back chairs are extremely uncomfortable for tall people. So I'm going booth every time. What about you?
Yeah, I've never sat at the bar, and not by choice anyway.
Yeah.
But I'll just say that those the chairs that have the back, those suck. Just give me the round like mushroom style.
Mushroom, yeah.
But even that,
you don't have the back
you
of the chair at
on
all.
the desk or the table, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. This isn't really here or there, but have you ever seen a fight break out at a Waffle House?
No, but I've seen really, really drunk people at like 3 a.m. Yeah.
That's what I got for Waffle House.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, I think the thing about Waffle House working there, it was my favorite little like pleasure other than making like a waffle for myself is I could make they had like a rule that if you could cook it, you could eat it. And so
Really?
I make grilled cheeses all the time. I loved a good Waffle House grilled cheese. It's the best.
Can you put anything in it, or like you got to be like a grilled cheese, like throw some like bacon on there, and like
you can throw whatever you wanted on it. But I just a real quick grilled cheese, got a little butter on each side of the bread, smash it down. It's very good, very good.
That's the Waffle House perk. If you can cook it, you can eat it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you got to be. You can't like not serve your customers, you know. So like that's the trick. And so that's why grilled cheese is great because it's really quick. You can just throw it on there, get it done. Eat it. You can also eat it pretty quickly too, which is nice.
It's just like Google with their free lunches.
It's exactly the same as Google. Yes, Waffle House and Google. People confuse them often.
It's hard to differentiate them sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
I know you got 4,000 articles. You want to hit me with one?
I want to hit you with the first one just because
we got like 15 minutes. We're all good.
Yeah. I mean, I really was so looking forward to this one, talking to you about
it. Okay. Let me concentrate.
I find articles now. I've started calling them Scott articles, and I just save them for these episodes. And I don't know how this guy got this published, but in a journal called Group and Organization Management, the title is "Size Does Matter, and it's shorter is better. Yes. It's our time to shorten papers." And I was like, "I'm listening." And so he said, well, it's official. Size does matter, but not necessarily in the way that you think. This new publication by William Obenauer, I guess is how you say his last name, says in the last quarter century, the length of manuscripts in top management journals has increased by almost 50%. This increase in manuscript length is largely driven by non-empirical writing, i.e. theory and motivation. Manuscripts with large numbers of studies, i.e. 13 to 18 studies, do not appear to be driving this growth. And so, actually, the number of studies isn't driving the growth. Sorry, I said that wrong. But what they're finding is that the longer a journal article is, the less impact it has. And so they're saying we need to focus on having shorter journal articles, and that, we should just embrace these shorter papers. So what do you think about this one?
Yes. I'm impressed with a lot of the economist work out there, where like you go there and they structure their articles. You didn't ask me this question. I'm answering a different question. They structure their articles such that you get the entire download in like a page or two, and then they go like a deep dive into everything else. And it's such a sort of refreshing look. I am amazed if you like download just a PDF of an article and it's like 6 pages and you're like, hell yes. Verse, I remember, I think it's oh boy, some of these like old like OD guys or like Klein, it would be like double column, 52 pages, got to read it for grad school, and well written, everything, but like who, once again, get to the point, man. Like we get it. Like there's a lot of great things to say, but no one's got time for that.
No one's got time for it.
No one's got time for that.
Like,
I
if
mean,
I could get away with it, which I know I couldn't, because I've never published something in a truly academic journal, and that's not an accident. If I could get away with it, I would write a 4-page article. I would write an article that had 1 page that was kind of, setting up the scene, 1 page for methods, 1 page for results, and 1 page for discussion. And you could have a huge appendix, maybe with like charts from the results or something like that, but just a 4-page article. And if it were relevant, like if the science on it was good enough, I bet you it would be like one of the most popular articles of the year.
Well, the whole point is to like spit out insights, right? I mean, this is why people do PowerPoints, but even PowerPoints get crazy, right? They have 52 slides, this sort of thing. But like, I just want to know what I'm supposed to take away from this, and can I apply it to, my daily life, right? Can I use whatever you're spitting out?
No, but the reality is I could never get a 4-page article published. And the fact that I couldn't says less about me, my credentials as a scientist, which are not much, but more about the system itself. And that to me is why I really like this article, because it's joking, but it's pretty serious too.
That's yes, and I love the name of the article. I love me a good tongue-in-cheek article name.
It's not in a top-tier journal because of the title.
Here we go. We'll do some more like memory lane. Like we had an article sitting in our hopper for a year.
Over a
we
year.
Were like,
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Because we were waffling on, should we do it? Can we do it? What guest can we get to do this with? And I think it was Emily Campion.
It was Emily Campion. It absolutely was.
And
do you know the name of the article, perhaps, Scott? Because I know the name.
It was.
He won't do it. He's like, I'm not going to touch that hot stove.
No, I'll definitely. Well, it's based off of I think it's a Cardi B quote that goes something like, "Hoes don't get cold," which that wasn't the name of the article, but it was like, hot girls don't experience cold. And essentially they went out and they went to, college campus bars, and they measured the clothing length of women, how much skin is exposed. They measured the air temperature and asked them how cold they felt perceptually. And the general finding was that girls that dress hotter, they think of themselves as being hotter. They don't experience cold temperatures as much. But we sat on that forever. Like,
I was like, that's going to be the end of the podcast. It's going to be a wrap right there.
No.
Thank goodness Emily was a good sport about it. My goodness.
No.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Emily. I love these sort of like creative. You don't get this in. It's not obviously a top tier study, but it's an interesting finding, right? Like surely some like master's levels kid did this sort of research or something like that. It's just kind of simplistic, but it's kind of interesting finding.
I mean, it's methodologically, it's not a bad study, Could you get it published with 4 pages? Probably not, but who cares?
Let me hit you with one. Let me see if I can actually work my screen share function.
Do it.
Share screen. Yeah, here we go. Let me know if you can hear this or see this rather.
Yeah.
Let me know if you can hear me too. Why not? Large-scale study of toxoplasmosis and cytomegalovirus. I'm not even try. Anyway, so what they did is they got 11,000 Danish blood donors, and they found. Let me get these stats real quick. 25% had toxoplasmosis, and it was associated with a 47% increase in schizophrenia.
Whoa.
61% had CMV, which was associated with a 17% increase in all psychiatric disorders and 31% increase in committing suicide.
Whoa.
Which
now even more, I'm glad we didn't do that study to see if we had toxoplasmosis.
Definitely got it. Like these stats sharpen my opinion that definitely got it.
All right, can I hit you with another kind of funny one?
Oh, well, one second. I do want to comment that, like, is there a rise in like crazy cat ladies? I mean, supposedly you got a cat. That's where you get a lot of this sort of stuff from. Is crazy cat ladies just toxoplasmosis?
Well, I don't know the arrow of causality on that one, but
yeah. That's true.
To what you shared, maybe it's a crazy person getting a cat, or maybe it's a cat causing a person literally to get like schizophrenia. That could be wild.
Yeah. Okay, hit me.
All right,
what you got?
So the crazy part about this one is maybe I'm just misinterpreting it, but I'm like, how is no one else seeing this? So it's new research from the Journal of Marketing Research, and it's like one of these studies on like how kind of like a Dunning-Kruger type study, like how certain someone feels when about a particular topic and whether they have confidence in their findings. And they're talking about the number of wines that someone tried. So the certainty about like how someone feels, like how much expertise they have on picking a wine, and then the number of wines they tried. And you see this U-shaped curve. And the funny thing is, before you try any, you're pretty certain you have 1, 2, 3 glasses of wine. Your certainty actually goes down. But beyond 3 glasses of wine, your certainty skyrockets up as to how certain you feel about your ability to judge how good a wine is. And I was like, is no one talking? Because like they're treating this like it's like real research. And like, is no one noticing this pattern that the more wine you have, the more you start to say wild stuff?
Is it okay? There's a lot to break down here. Like, what one, are they actually drinking the wine? Are they
actually drinking the wine? Yes.
Oh well, I mean,
I was like, come on, this is just proving they're drunk. This isn't real research.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know.
And this is from a Wharton professor publishing this. How experience shapes confidence and choice. I was like, I don't think this is showing anything about experience. I think it's showing how drunk the person is.
There's some validity to after, I mean, like the first glass, it could be like maybe I could go here or there, but after like 7 or 8, I've got enough experience that I can pick out a good one, or I just like them all at that point. Not sure. I do like me a good U-shaped distribution though. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, I like the up down, like the
inverted U.
Favorite finding. Love a good Goldilocks zone reference.
Yeah.
Right?
That's always like really insightful. Like when someone's like, beyond 8 glasses of wine, we're 98% certain. Like beyond a team of 7 people, that's where like things really break down. Like give someone like a really hard number like that. Like that's really insightful.
Yeah, it is. When people like simple findings.
Yeah.
And that's why actually I think that's kind of been a theme of some of the nerdery articles I've covered, is like when somebody just finds something really simple and then they share it, and then it gets like traction. I'm like, see, they didn't use any advanced methods. This could have been a 4-page paper. It's going to have a huge impact. And yeah, maybe there's like a bunch of different covariates that we didn't cover. We didn't cover machine learning and all the different, methods that you could have tried out. But it was like, yeah, but it's a simple finding, and therefore it's going to be sticky.
I'm reading A Lady Tasting Tea, and it goes through all because early 1900s even, we didn't have very many statistical methods, right? Like it all started with like Galton's lab and Carl Pearson correlation sort of stuff. But Fisher came up with the idea of like crop variation. I'm just like, hey, let's randomize the crops or the fertilizer we put on the crops, and that's how you like kind of get to a finding. But really, if you set up the methods well, you don't need all that other shit, right? Like that, just a very simplistic methods can get you the best findings, really.
Yeah. Well, can I hit you with two really quick because they're the same article? Just
yeah, sure.
They're Scott articles. So if you don't follow Jay Van Bevel, he's a good follow on LinkedIn or wherever you follow your social media. And he published a recent article called The Psychology of Virality. And I found this article. I was like, oh, Scott's going to love this one. And then, so let me stop sharing. And then a week later, I found a post and I was like, oh my God, Scott's going to love this post. Yeah. And it's like negativity spreads like a virus long before social media. And it's a new Nature paper shows epidemiological models explain the viral spread of rumors. And guess what? Same article, Jay Van Bevel. I was like, oh, same article, found it. But I knew Scott would like this one, so I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, send that to me. I obviously study networks and this sort of thing. And, we often use it for like the power of good. Like, hey, we're going to share some information, this sort of stuff. Information is that has direction too, right? You can spread a lot of negativity through the network. You find just imagine like having a bad boss and like just sort of the toxic sort of elements that can like spread, or like even like more simpler terms. Have you ever been like having a good time, like someone like walks in the room with a shitty attitude and like the whole like temperature turns down to like nothing?
That's exactly the finding. It says negativity spreads like a virus.
Oh yeah.
So I love that. And yes, I definitely see that. And frankly, sometimes I've been that person. And I don't like it, but that's been the truth.
We all have, but we kind of, and like you got to fight through it. Like it's a human experience, but we all kind of owe it to our coworkers to not be the shithead, right? Like you gotta like come, even put on a smiley face, even if you don't want to. It's not every day, but like you can't just walk in every day being the curmudgeon and like the spoiler.
I think we did this a while back. Maybe we never did. Maybe we did it off the podcast, but I remember we did like a thing where we named funny people's names we knew from growing up. And I remember there was this guy, and this may not have been true, but there was a guy that went to our rival high school growing up. And I think they named him Shatid, and it was spelled shithead.
No.
I swear to God, it was spelled shithead, and his name was Shatid.
Will you drop in that LinkedIn post in the chat here?
I did. I put it in there for you. All right.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You want to wrap this up?
Oh, I'll give you one funny name I heard the other day. It was I'm watching college football, and some guy's name is Lemondre, but it was Lemon Dre, and like, I kept calling him Lemon Dre, and I thought that was really good. Anyway,
I didn't realize for a long time that Flow Rider was spelled Florida. So there you go.
Is it really?
It is.
All right, bud. I got a plane to catch.
Yeah. All right. You've been listening to Direction Correct, People Linux podcast with Cole and Scott, and today's guest, Nobody. Happy 150th.